Hey guys, so for today's vlog I thought I would just talk about the fact that I'm moving to Canada soon and basically the step-by-step of how that whole process is kind of going. I just think it'd be useful if anyone else wants to come to Canada on the same basis as me, if people want to know things, if people just want to be a bit more educated about immigration to other places. I guess that's emigration, really. So the visa I'm going on, not technically a visa, it's a work permit, but it's essentially a visa. It lasts 2 years and it is the IEC, International Experience Canada Working Holiday Visa. So I'm going to be able to live and work in Canada for 2 years. And there's a few different steps you need to go through in order to get it. So yeah, let's just go through those steps. So your first basic step is to get into the candidate pool. Now, this step's kind of the simplest thing in the whole process because you hand over a few bits of information, nothing major. You know, have your passport to hand, but otherwise this is just a general kind of to show that you're interested. And what happens with this is that people will get randomly chosen out of this pool of candidates. How many random selections they do is based on the quota of people for whatever country you're applying from. So for instance this year, under this visa, 5,000 people from the UK can go to Canada. If you get picked, which I advise apply early because it so increases your chances, you then get sent an invitation to apply. When you get your invite, you have 10 days to accept or decline that invitation. So if you accept it, you go ahead and apply. If you don't, what are you doing? If you don't accept the invitation, you go back into the pool of candidates and you may get randomly selected at a later date. So if you're not ready to move yet, I guess, but... And once you accept that invitation, you have 20 days to fill out your application. And that's where we begin step 2. Okay, because this is the actual application part and it's big and it's got all sorts of mini parts to do with it as well. So with your application for this visa, you're going to need proof that you have $1,250. This is basically to help you get started in Canada and to make sure that you're not coming to Canada flat broke, that you can actually get yourself established, get some work and then build up the rest of the money that you need for the rest of the time that you're there. Which is fair enough, really. For some countries you'll need a medical check, but you don't necessarily need them for countries like the UK. Like I didn't need one. The most difficult bit of paperwork to get a hold of is a thing called a police certificate. This is essentially a background check. You know, a piece of paper letting whatever immigration people you're dealing with, in this case Canadian, letting them know that you're not some violent psychopath, that you've not had any convictions, warnings, or court orders against you, and if you have, that those things are a certain amount of time in the past, though if you do have any you will need to provide like court documents and shit related to that. It's not my area of expertise, I didn't have to do it, but I've seen other people on Facebook having to deal with that shit. So, fun time. So yeah, the police certificate, on the website it says it takes 10 working days. I got mine a lot sooner, so it could go quicker for you, especially if you don't actually have any convictions or cautions or whatever. But some of the advice that they give, because these certificates are valid for 6 months, some of the advice they give is that you should probably apply for one of these police certificates as soon as you enter the pool of candidates, just so that there's no hold up or whatever. And if you do apply late, you can provide a letter of explanation as to why you don't have that document yet. Some of the other stuff that they will ask for is things like a complete work history. There is a standardized format that is up on their website, and using that as a guide, you know, you can't go too far wrong with it. You also need the dates and addresses of the place you've lived for the last 10 years, and if you've lived anywhere for more than 6 months, you also need to provide a police certificate from that country as well as your home country. One of the other things they ask for is 4 months of financial history. That sounds like a bit of a whoa, what's that, whoa? But it's really easy to do, because if you have online banking, all you got to do is download 4 months of your statements, PDFs and stuff. You need 4 months of those to basically go, look, I've never gone broke. I've never, yeah, I'm not a credit risk. And one of the other things that you can do, if you get a signed letter from your parents or anyone who's backing you, so if it's a university or if it's, who's the Great Expectations, you know that guy? The one that was funding Pip the whole time because he made his fortune in Australia? Yeah, if you got that guy backing you, a signed letter from him saying that he's backing you will also do the trick. It's all stuff to make sure that Canada knows that you're not going over there and just kind of help me, debt is happening over here, help. I don't remember what a lot of the other documents are, but really the only thing that's that difficult to get a hold of is your police certificate. And once you've got all that together, this is the part where you pay your fees. Now for this year, and I believe for last year as well, the fees were 250 Canadian dollars, which, thanks to the exchange rate, is just over £125. So, and once you've paid for it, then you play the waiting game. It says that the processing time is about 8 weeks, but you could get everything way before that. This is the step that I'm currently at. My application has been approved, and I am waiting on my port of entry letter. And the port of entry letter is something that you're going to need to print off, that you show to the people at Canadian Customs when you get there, alongside your passport, proof of either a return ticket or sufficient funds to purchase a return ticket, and proof of medical insurance that lasts the 2 years and covers you for repatriation if you get injured or sick or whatever. And the last thing is, again, that proof of $1,250, which I believe has to be from like the week before you flew out there. So it can't be the same thing you submitted when you submitted the documents first time round. It has to be more recent, more up to date. It has to be, look, this is how much money I have right now. And once you've got all that, you're good to go. Yeah, I highly recommend the Facebook group IEC Work Canada, because if you have literally any questions about any part of this process, there will be someone there who has the answer. It's been incredibly useful. But this was just a basic rundown. This is where I'm at the moment, waiting on my POE. Yeah. Going to Canada. And with this advice, maybe you could if you wanted to. Alex, you're already there. Yeah. Go exploring.